Welcome back to Alpha Recap, your closing bell quick brief on what moved markets today. Energetic day, lots to unpack. As always, if you have questions, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai.
Hey, great to be here. Big themes today. Big cap tech growth moves, a high-profile portfolio rotation, and a wave of legal filings that created event risk for a handful of mid-caps. Let's start with the headline that grabbed attention. Amazon expanded its LEO satellite internet service into South Africa.
Right, that was the big connectivity story. So what really stands out here is that geographic rollouts are the tangible way to expand addressable market for these capital-heavy satellite plays.
Exactly. I mean, when you step back and look at this, moving into South Africa isn't just PR. It's a test case for regulatory approvals, subscriber signups, and how quickly they ramp capital spending to build coverage.
An analyst noted it could shift how cloud and telecom peers are positioned relative to Amazon, because success here changes the competitive map for low Earth orbit services.
Follow-up items to watch were clear. Subscriber uptake numbers, any partner deals, and the cadence of CapEx disclosures.
On the funding and flows side, a related theme, we also saw Clairvoy hire an ex-Apple engineering lead, and event lineups with Oracle and NVIDIA executives headlining an industry conference.
Right. And the other thing is that those moves show the platform versus specialist dynamic. Big platforms keep pushing infrastructure narratives, while smaller vendors try to close the credibility gap with talent and awards.
Yeah, that tracks.
Switching gears. Cathie Wood's ARK disclosed about $109 million in trades. They trimmed exposure to a big semiconductor name and added positions in a fintech and a biotech company.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by this one. Large, visible reallocations from a manager like that can change intraday liquidity and signal a thematic tilt away from certain chips into fintech and biotech.
Yeah, and to be clear, that doesn't mean it's the start of a long-term trend. But data suggests active managers were reweighting sector bets ahead of second-half catalysts.
Quick reaction. Markets closed with gains in tech and AI names today. And that kind of flow can amplify moves in the specific stocks active managers touch.
Short note, analyst actions were mixed. Some firms trimmed guidance on an auto aftermarket name, while others raised targets. That sort of analyst churn creates a valuation band the traders reference. Now, the day also had a cluster of securities fraud notices. ADMA Biologics, Via Transportation, and Calyx all had filings or lead plaintiff invitations.
Those legal overhangs really add a different kind of risk. They're not operational news, but they can drive sustained volatility, potential settlement costs, and reputational hits.
Exactly. Traders who focus on event-driven strategies will watch court filings, lead plaintiff motions, and any SEC disclosures. Those are the next formal catalysts that can move prices independent of fundamentals.
Short reaction? Not what anyone expected.
On healthcare, there were some interesting regulatory moves. Kellen Biotech and Harbor Biomed received NMPA investigational new drug approval for an asthma candidate. That's a binary clinical catalyst.
Binary meaning the stock can swing a lot on trial starts or enrollment updates. So, what really stands out here is that clinical approvals can re-rate biotech tickers quickly if trials proceed.
Right. And on the commercial side, Premier Plastic Surgery Partners rolled out a regenerative skin treatment called Junera across partner practices. No financials yet, but it's an example of organic rollout news. Another place we saw real activity was Sovereign Capital. The Oman Investment Authority disclosed 105 projects and investments totaling about $1.74 billion from a $5.2 billion portfolio.
That matters because sovereign deployment signals real demand for contractors and infrastructure partners. Companies with exposure could see contract announcements that meaningfully affect revenue visibility.
Investor actionables there were simple. Monitor named partners and contract awards in follow-up releases. Those are the execution milestones that convert headline scale into stock-moving revenue.
Quick volume roundup. We saw heavy moves in a Bitcoin-linked ETF That was up about 3.7% to $8.76 on about 407 million shares.
And several small cap names had wild volume. One tiny microcap jumped about 3.8% to about 15 cents on about 348 million shares. A leveraged small cap fund slipped about 1% to about $4.04 on about 220 million shares. Another small cap rose about 2.2% to about $13.97 on about 152 million shares. And an airline fell about 3.9% to about $15.67 on about 138 million shares.
Heavy volume like that can mean rapid positioning changes. For traders, follow-through volume tomorrow would be the confirmation they look for.
Rapid fire highlights. Lockett reported retention up 103% and engagement up 42%. Ariel Green had a $150,000 insurance claim paid. And KMS Lighthouse picked up an AI deployment award. Okay, let's pull this together. Cross-cutting patterns we observed. 1. Platform and AI differentiation kept accelerating. 2. Big fund rebalancing amplified liquidity swings. 3. Clustered legal filings raised event-driven risk for midcaps. And 4. Sovereign deals and biotech regulatory actions offered tangible multi-quarter catalysts.
Short reaction. Big picture. A bit of everything today.
For tomorrow, key things to watch. Any follow-up on Amazon's Leo rollout, subscriber numbers or regulatory color in South Africa. Further filings from ARK or clarification on that semiconductor trim. Court calendars for ADMA Biologics, Via Transportation, and Calyx. Trial start or enrollment updates for the asthma candidate from Kellen Biotech and Harbor Biomed. And whether volume confirms today's moves for the high-activity names.
Right, and remember, markets closed today, so all of this is looking at what already happened and what could be the next catalyst on the calendar.
Final takeaways. 1. Strategic rollouts like Amazon's are measurable expansion plays. Watch for real subscriber and partner data. 2. Visible reallocations from big funds can create outsized intraday liquidity effects. That $109 million disclosure was material. And 3. Clustered legal notices mean midcaps can have headline-driven volatility that isn't tied to operations.
And a practical reminder, none of this is personal investment advice. Analysts note these are signals to monitor, data to feed into your own research, and timelines to watch before adjusting any risk views.
If you have questions about anything we covered today, head to stockalpha.ai where you can ask us directly and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back after the next close with another Alpha recap. Take care.